And joining me now from the White House, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. And Mr. Secretary, welcome to the program. It's great to see you on our show today.
Great to be here.
You're meeting with the Premier of Ontario tomorrow. What do you want from him?
Oh, I think we're just going to have a nice conversation. It's really, Canada is in a bit of flux, right? Trudeau left, Mark Carney came in. They're probably going to call an election in like 3 weeks. So I think it's just to level set things, make sure we know each other, and then we're going to negotiate with all of Canada. So obviously we're going to wait for there to be a new prime minister, and then we're going to talk.
Are you lowering the temperature deliberately?
Well said. We're going to lower the temperature. You know, he thought he'd be sort of the big man and tackle Donald Trump, but you know you can't tackle Donald Trump. He is the most important, the smartest, the most capable leader in the world, and he's not going to let someone push him around. You know, the right answer is, if you take a step back, what does the president want? He wants to worry about major things for national security of America. Steel and aluminum tariffs, that's today, right? Autos coming April 2nd, semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, things that America must have. So you can imagine these are the kind of tariffs we're going to make sure these things come back to America and are built in America. And then on April 2nd, he does his reciprocal tariffs, which basically say to all the countries in the world, come on, you treat us a certain way, we'll treat you the same way. Let's make it fair. You want them high, they'll be high like they are now. You want them low, they'll be low. But let's treat each other fairly. And that's where we're going. Pretty basic, pretty straightforward.
Let's go back to that 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports coming into America. What will it take to get those tariffs removed, the 25% steel and aluminum?
So I think the president views steel and aluminum as fundamental for our national security. I mean, we can't be in a war and rely on steel and aluminum from some other country. I mean, it's just not reasonable. So the president wants steel and aluminum in America. And let me be clear, nothing's going to stop that until we've got a big, strong, domestic steel and aluminum capability. And by the way, he's going to add copper to that mix, too. So just remember, national security rises above all other things. People get lost in this stuff. We must have steel and aluminum. We must have semiconductors. We need to have cars and automobiles. We need to make these things in America. We need to make pharmaceuticals in America. The president has called them out because he knows these things are vital to be made in America.
The price of aluminum and steel and copper has already started to rise. That could ripple through the entire manufacturing sector and raise the level of inflation. Could it bring on a recession?
So let's start again. Let's take a step back and remember inflation, right? Inflation comes from a government printing too much money. The Biden administration having a $2 trillion deficit. You don't get inflation from having a tariff, because what a tariff says is if it's made in Europe, if it's made foreign, it might cost a little more, but that which is made in America does not cost more. This concept of how about we buy American steel, we buy American aluminum. There's U.S. Steel, you know it. There's Nucor, right? There's Cleveland Cliffs. We make plenty of steel in America.
Domestic
we make plenty of steel in America. Let's strengthen that.
Domestic producers can't keep up with demand. The supply is limited, demand is strong. The price is going up.
Some foreign steel will go up for sure, but then they will build those plants in America. We will have our plant production in America is only operating at 55%. That's got to get up to 80%. We'll put the orders in America. Our plants will be more effective. Look, you've got dumpers in the rest of the world. Japan dumps steel. China dumps steel. What that means is they make it, they overproduce, and they sell it dirt cheap to try to drive our guys out of business. The president is here to protect American workers. He's here to protect American industry. We're going to stop that nonsense and bring steel here. So this concept that, oh, prices are going to rise, You got to remember, President Trump is playing for the strength of America, and we're not going to stand for China dumping, Japan dumping. Australia does a lot of aluminum at below cost. I mean, this has got to end, and the president is on it, and he's protecting America.
Is it correct to say that America has the lowest tariffs and American products are the highest tariffed in the world? Is that accurate?
Oh, it's absolutely accurate. Since 1945, we had this domestic policy, this industrial policy that said, let the world, we're going to export the power of the U.S. economy to the rest of the world. So we charged really, really low tariffs so everybody could sell to us, and they protected and put giant tariffs. Giant tariffs. Europe has, remember, it starts with a VAT of 20% before we even get started. So the rest of the world has huge tariffs. You said it exactly right. And Donald Trump has said, why is the policy from 1945? Why is that the policy of America? Let's get balance. Let's unleash our farmers, our ranchers, our fishermen. Let's bring manufacturing back to America. Let's make America great. And I mean great.
There's a new article in Politico, and it says this, I'm quoting, Trump allies are blaming Lutnick for Trump's tariff turmoil. They quote anonymous sources who say, you are acting like a mini Trump. Would you like to respond to that?
Oh, my God, I would love to act like a mini Trump. That works for me. You got the smartest guy, most intuitive guy driving tariff policy. I am indeed helping him execute his policy. The economic team is one. We're doing it together. You know, we understand what he wants to achieve. He wants to bring manufacturing back to America. He wants to bring and protect America from certain industries, which he's called out. And we're doing it together. It's a great team. I love the team. Jameson Greer, our U.S. Trade Representative, Kevin Hassett, our head of National Economic Council. I mean, these are wonderful, wonderful people. Scott Bessent in Treasury. These are wonderful people all working together.
I'm being advised on this interview by my friend and colleague, Kevin O'Leary, who was in fact born in Canada. And he wants me to ask you, what's the end game here? Could you eventually get to a point where there's that you've got a huge economy, you've conjoined, you've merged the economies of Canada and the United States? Can you get to that point, you think?
Well, the best way, the president has said it, the best way to actually merge the economies of Canada and the United States is for Canada to become our 51st state. If they want to merge it, that's how you make it the 51st state. But think about this for a second. Why are American cars made in Canada? Why are they made in Canada? To the president, it just doesn't make sense. Why are American cars made in Canada? Those jobs should be in America. And that's what the president thinks, and that's what he says, and that's what he's going to execute. So the key point is Canada's going to have to work with us to really integrate their economy. And as the president said, they should consider the amazing advantages of being the 51st state of the United States of America.
I've got one question for you, if I may, from another friend of the program. That would be Dave Portnoy. He told us that he was offered a job in your department. He ultimately turned it down. My question is, what did you want him to do at the Commerce Department?
No, we're not going to talk about what he wants to do, but can you imagine if we could get these kind of great people to come work for the government? How fantastic would that be? I mean, we've got so much to achieve in this country. You've got Elon Musk helping us out. We've got the greatest people helping us. We've got technology companies offering to build software for the U.S. government. Here's the key: for free, helping us to build a great America. And I think you're going to see the greatest economy under Donald Trump. Let his policies run. Let's get to reciprocal tariffs. If other countries want to bring their tariffs down, we will bring ours down. We can't really bring them down. We just won't bring them up because ours are so low as it is. But the idea is reciprocal is coming April 2nd. Doesn't that sound fair to you?
It does indeed. At this point, it does. Mr. Secretary, what a pleasure. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. We hope to see you again at some point. Thank you, sir.